So here we are, guys. We are on the map that we're going to be doing 24-day season run on. We're going to give this a try, and I've picked this particular map to do it on. This is Churn Valley 2017, and you can find it over at the FS UK website, and I've got a link to that map in the description. The reason we picked this particular map as opposed to doing Dusty Cove, like Old Guy Farmer is looking at doing, is because I've kind of my personality is such that I kind of don't like doing things that everybody else does. Like a little bit of individuality, and in fact, the challenge map that I'm doing the 3-day, I'm sorry, the 3-year challenge on. That's kind of a diversion from my normal way of doing things, and trying to not be and trying not to do what everyone else is doing. One map that I was really thinking about doing this on was the upcoming West Coast map by Bullet Bill, but and I guess Oxygen David. But I started to think that, everybody and their sister is probably going to be doing videos on that particular map, and while 24-day seasons play on that map would be a bit unique, I didn't want my videos basically to show up with 1,700 other YouTube folks out there doing West Coast Hills, or West Coast, not West Coast Hills, but West Coast. So I really liked this map when I did a video review of it. So I decided, what the heck, let's give it a go on this particular map. So this is pretty much the vanilla map from FSUK. The only thing I did do was I modified these fermentation silos to work a little bit better, hopefully with the season's intent. So I've modified the output production on these to output at a significantly lower rate. I think the default output production on these was like 15,000 liters per hour. I have lowered that to just around 3,500 liters per hour, and that is because let's get our HUD back here, and let's bring up the seasons menu. So as you can see, we're running 24-day seasons. We are running Fahrenheit. That's because I am in America and I just don't understand Celsius at all. So we will be running Fahrenheit. And as you see, we've got 8-day segments in the seasons. So early spring is 8 days, mid-spring is 8 days, and late spring is 8 days. We know from the seasons, folks, that silage takes 1/3 of a season to ferment. So I've tweaked this. I've looked in the map editor and found the capacity of each of these silos, and I've basically taken that and divided it by the total number of hours in 8 game days, which was 196, I believe. And basically I've come out to, if this is at full capacity, if I fill this with chaff in 1 game day, which is probably not a possibility, but at any rate, if I fill this all up with chaff in 1 game day, it should take 8 game days to convert all of that chaff into silage. So that's kind of in the spirit of seasons, in that if you put chaff in a silage bunker, a standard silage bunker, it's going to take you about 8 days for that bunker to ferment. So we've tweaked the output on those to lower the output productivity to about the same equivalency. This map does have mud. We appear to be somewhat stuck in a little bit of a mud pit at the moment. Let's see if we can get out of here. Another reason I picked this particular map is the number of starting fields. So with 24-day seasons, you're going to need a fair bit of stuff to do to keep you busy. And we will be bumping our clock up to 15 times speed simply because I think that is a bit more representative to kind of the amount of work that you can really get done. 10 times speed may also be fairly close to that, to reality. But one of the reasons we picked this, or I picked this map to do, was the number of starting fields. So let's pull over here to the dealer, and I'll pull up the main menu, or the main map menu, and show you the starting fields. Now, I have not edited the starting fields. These are the fields that you get from the start. So let's take a look at that. So here's the map itself for anyone that's not familiar with Churn Valley. And I like to come over here and we'll take plowing off. So we've got a fairly clean map. Let's get rid of some of these icons so we can see what's going on here. Alright, so as you can see, we start out with 7, 9, 14, 17, 18, 15, 19, 20, 28, 31, and 34. So it's like 9 fields. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fields. And some of them are pretty darn good sized fields. So I figure with 11 fields and 24 days of spring, if we took 2 game days to do each field, we would pretty much take the entire spring to prepare all of our fields for planting, and that may be still a bit of a challenge. There may be a field or two that are kind of left barren for the start of the summer. And let's take a look and see what kind of field sizes we got going on here. So field 7 is 6.3 hectares. Field 8 is 1.67. Let's go ahead and pull up the map here. Or field 9. Field 14 is 8.2 hectares. Field 15 is 9.7 with a nice patch of trees or whatever there in the middle. 17 is a smaller field, 0.8. 18 is 1.1. 19 is 9.64. Field 28 is really an interesting shape where it kind of doubles back. I think there's a big old hill there with the road going around it. It's 7.63. Field 31 is 7.26. Oops. And field 34 is 8.69. So that's the fields we got going on. They're all there's several in the 7, 8, and 9 hectare range, and there's a couple little ones, but overall they're pretty big in size. So this is the field. Let's see. I don't remember if these have collisions on them or not. They do. Okay. Looks like here's an entrance into the field. So let's take a look at this field. Just see how it kind of doubles around around this road here. I really liked this map when I did a video on it, so when I started thinking about doing a 24-day run on the map, on a map, this was one of the very first maps I kind of really thought about doing it on. So you can see how it kind of wraps around there. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and see if we can't find our way over to field 15 and check that out as far as what's going on over there. There we go. Oh, we're going the wrong way, but that's okay. We'll find our way around. So this map also starts with a fair bit of starting equipment. Here's field 31. This is a really, oh, look at that. Look at that lighthouse. I had not seen that before. Now, of course, we've got seasons turned on here. We are running, oh my goodness, look at this hill. Round bale this thing, and they are down into the river. If that hedge didn't have collisions, that would be for sure. Oh, and look, we've got a, that's something else I didn't notice when I did my map video, because without seasons, it's bright and early. With the sun up at 6 a.m. when the map normally starts. We got a nice blinking beacon. So even though I already spent a few hours on this map when I was doing a map video tour, I'm still seeing new things with this map. Where we gotta go? Okay, we gotta work up here a little bit. This map has a fair bit of starting equipment. I think if we sold everything off, we would have about $1 million to start with. And I'm still thinking about how I'm going to play this. Am I going to play, quote, the grind, where we start with just our starting money, and I think this is the road I need. Yeah, this road will work. Basically, the field in question wraps around, this road wraps around the field in question here. This is it, so let's go ahead and jump on in. So I'm thinking about doing the classic grind on this map, or this is mud. Okay, good. So here is the here is that little section in the middle of this field, and these are not necessarily pine trees. They would be a kind of a pain to take out. We've got that different ground texture there. So when we work this field, we're going to have to work this area. As you see, these trees have collisions. We're not going to be cheating and driving through ghost trees with hired help or anything. So what I was saying was, I'm still thinking about how I'm going to play this. Am I going to do the classic grind? Now, selling off some or most of the starting equipment will help with that, because running 24-day seasons, that is going to be a very long time before we have anything to harvest. We've got, oops, you know, if everything works out perfectly, we would have 24 and 16, so that's 40 game days before we could possibly harvest anything other than grass. That is crazy talk. And then thinking about once you get into winter, you've got 24 game days of possible frozen ground. So one of the interesting aspects to 24 days is to see, how does your gameplay really change? How does the map change with respect to 24-day seasons? How does the weather change? I mean, imagine a 24-day winter where you have a whole bunch of snow. That would be awful. You know, as you can see here, we've got 4 days of rain out of 7 on the map so far, and we're still in, that's pretty much early spring. What you're seeing in the forecast is early spring. So it'll be very interesting to do. Now, I do not plan on live streaming every single day on this map. I probably will be going back to some more contemporary pre-recorded videos and doing some live stream every so often. For the live stream challenge that I'm doing, I was planning on trying to implement a schedule of 1 or 2 live streams per week. So I'll probably try to get back to that when here's one of our, this is not one of our fields we own, but it's one of the little old fields. So we'll probably get back to that schedule. So in a lot of the videos that we put out, or that I put out on this map, will be basically pre-canned videos, pre-recorded videos, and to that degree I'll be able to do some editing and you know, speed up some of the monotonous things related to spring. You know, you're not going to want to see me do 22 days worth of plowing and cultivating and planting. That would be mind-numbingly dumb and boring, to put out there. I don't know how many people would continue to watch that. We've got poles here, utility poles through the field. We're going to have to be able to drive around those. Yep, we're going to have to drive around those. Can't magically warp through them either. So this is kind of the arable farm section of the map. You can see we were going to have to deal with all kinds of mud. So I'm thinking that it may turn out that we do kind of a series where maybe we take and combine 2 or 3 game days per episode. Still shooting at 30 to 45 minute videos at 15 times speed. We're really talking about one game day equaling about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half, depending on the day of the season, or depending on the season and the day length. So, you know, if we just if we record every minute of the game day, then obviously it would take a couple episodes to get through one game day. But if we record through just you know, the highlights of the day, then we could probably do a recorded video and basically do 2 game days per recorded video. Let's see here, while we're chatting, let's go ahead and make our way down to the pig area and the sheep area. So as I said, I'm not really sure if we're going to how much of the equipment we're going to sell off. If I think we have a harvester or 2, we'll definitely sell that stuff off, because there's no reason to be with seasons holding on to a crop harvester when you're not going to be harvesting any crops for, you know, 48 game days. Here we have a dairy, so we can bring our milk over here, buy our milk, or sell our milk. So when we get down to the pig area, I'll pull up the starting equipment and look at that real quick. The only thing I've done before I recorded this video was literally pick the map and start it. It's on hard mode, so we are going to do this on hard mode. So the only thing I did was start the map up, pick some mods that I think about I'm probably going to bring into here, and then I configured it for Fahrenheit. I configured it for 24-day seasons, and saved it out. So I really haven't done any work. Oh, I missed the road. So also at 24-day seasons, we are going to become very familiar with this map. We will not be missing roads like this, or missing turns by the time we're done. I'm thinking about trying to do 2-year run on this map. It's kind of a I don't think it really does seasons justice to play a map for just for 1 year, or for 4 seasons, and that's because so much of your decisions in fall and winter play into what are you going to be doing in the spring. And if you don't have a spring to plan for, then you kind of just, you know, plant, harvest, do a little field work in the winter. If it's not frozen, maybe do a little forestry just to keep yourself busy. But once harvest happens, there isn't much going on. So that's the pig area. Let me back up. Like I said, I've been in this map a few months ago when I did a map video, and I haven't opened it up since. So I'm kind of remembering where things are. Again, there's our blinking beacon that we saw. So let's take a look at that starting equipment. And like I said, this probably won't last very long. So we've got a fair number of tractors here, in our starting equipment. We've got that harvester and these headers that we can sell right away. We've got the potato harvester we can get rid of right away. We can get rid of some of these tippers because we don't have any product in our silos. We're going to need our seeders and cultivators and plows. Fertilize equipment. We can get rid of this stuff because we won't have any animals for a while. We can definitely get rid of that thing for sure. And now I didn't buy this. This is part of the starting equipment. I had picked this. I picked the DLC, but I haven't bought a darn thing on this map yet. That's interesting. I did not notice that in the walkthrough video because I didn't pick the Coon DLC in the walkthrough video. So that's rather interesting that the Coon, if you have the Coon DLC, you get the combo baler with your starting equipment. So like I said, we're going to definitely ditch this animal equipment. We're definitely going to ditch the harvester, and we're probably going to ditch all, if not, we're probably going to ditch these two tippers, at least. We're going to ditch some of these tractors, that's for sure, because we're not going to need all of those tractors. We'll probably keep some of the bigger stuff. And I've got, show you some of the mods I brought in. We've got, as far as tractor mods go, we've brought in the Big Bud. We brought in some Case IH stuff. We've brought in a customized Fendt 800. We've got some older Fendts in here. We've got some Case equipment, some Kloss equipment. So I'm planning on hopefully doing a bunch of, a fair bit of Kloss stuff. Got the Massey Pack. We got some John Deeres. So we do have John Deere shop, so I thought we might have some John Deeres on this map. I've typically not run a bunch of John Deere equipment. As far as trucks go, we'll probably try to keep to the MAN or Tatra trucks, since we are technically a UK map. I've got this Kloss here, but we'll probably bring in a bigger Kloss for our harvester. What else do we got that's fun? We've got a couple modded plows that we'll probably bring in to work the field. This is the contest plow. It's a really nice plow. It's fairly cheap. It's small. It might be good for those smaller fields. As far as sprayers go, we've got the Coon Pack, of course, and actually I thought I brought in another self-propelled sprayer, but I might. Oh, it's over here. We've got the Case Titan fertilized spreader that we'll probably bring in at some point. We got our Big M in here and our Coon mowers. On the contest, I've been, or not on the contest, on a Mountain Valley Farms video, I've been using this mower, and I think that works out pretty good. It's not quite as wide a working width as these two mowers, but it's significantly cheaper. Forestry equipment, I brought in the, this is my favorite little log trailer. We've got the winch, that's the name I'm looking for, and we've got the ergo. We'll work up to that. We brought in the Merlot telehandler. My favorite Kotech bale forks for dealing with bale equipment, and that brings me to a point in these log forks. We're going to try to do most of this stuff without auto load. So when we bale, we're going to try to load up our trailer. So I have a bale trailer. We've got this interesting bale trailer I've not used yet. So I'm interested in this bale trailer. I've got to try to figure out how to use that. I've got a couple other bale trailers. This one is auto load, but we would probably buy it without auto load. We've got our service trailer, and we've got our liquid fertilizer mixer here, our auto loader. I do like this Italian seeder. We're going to use that probably at some point to where are we at? Sewing machines. So we've got our big bud stuff in here, and we'll just have to figure out how we can drive around these fields. This is my kind of go-to seeder at the big bud pack, simply because it's fairly wide, but it's not too hard to get around. This definitely will not work on this map, that is for darn sure. But I kind of like this seeder here, with all of its graphical options and things. So we'll probably try to use that on some of the smaller fields. Let's see here. We've got the buy bales in here. We do have the Churn Ultima in here, so we might try to use that a little bit. Here's the fertilizer bags you need in order to make your liquid fertilizer, and we've got the big bags in here. I brought in my gator that we love to use on map videos, just to probably drive around some of these little areas. We've got the GTX trucks we're going to use. We brought in a road train pack for some of these great trailers. So we might use this for our bale trailer as opposed to the other one and whatnot. Then we've got the AR kit in here. We've got the man truck, and we got the Tatra truck, and we've got all of the AR frame stuff in here to use. And did we bring in any interesting placeables? I don't think I did bring in any interesting placeables. Oh, we've got this this mixing factory, which I liked. It's a little bit different than the forage or TMR food mixers. We might see if we can find a place to put that down. And here's our liquid fertilizer stuff. We do have the manure mod in here. And I like this little gas station. I'm not going to save this, but we're just going to go ahead and plop this down and take a look at that. I like this little gas station as a placeable, and these light up at night, these little shell ones, so it's different. And like I said, I like to do things a little bit different, so we might put that down. What else do we got? That's about it. Weights. We've got some Kloss weights in here that we brought in. We got some Fent weights. I like this weight. It's kind of like the SOB weight, the adjustable SOB weight, but it's not the adjustable SOB weight. And like I said, lots of people use the SOB weight, so I wanted to use something a little bit different. That's about it. So I don't need to keep running this video for any longer than it's running right now. Look for the first video on this 24-day seasons map to come out in the coming weeks. Really focusing right now on the 3-year streaming challenge. Hoping to get that done here in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll be moving over to this for some of our pre-recorded stuff. I did say a while back that I was going to do a series on Slovak Village. That is still going to happen. It's been put on hold a little bit because my understanding is the map author is working on a season's edit, and has said that, at least last I had heard, that he was shooting for an October release of that. So We're still shooting for that, to do that, but I wanted to wait until that season's release was out. I do have a version of the contest map with seasons added to it, with snow mask added to it, but the author was talking about doing some custom tree and bush textures and other things to his version that was seasons prepared. So I thought we'd just hold off on that until we had that map done in his glory, or in his. We've got fuel here, so we might not need that fuel station, depending on if every location has fuel or not. So that's the video. That's my thought process. 24-day seasons. Why? Just because we're crazy and we like to do crazy things, and we kind of want to see how does the map play out with such long seasons. Obviously, if the seasons folks have put in 24 days options, then they must have played through that and know how the map is going to behave. So let's give it a try. You know, we've tried 6-day seasons. Lots of people have run 6-day seasons. Right now I'm running Mountain Valley Farms on 12-day seasons. That's kind of fun. That's kind of worked out well. Just starting winter on that map, and that map you've got a lot of prep to do because you don't have any fields. You've got to clear the land and everything. So I looked for a map that had fairly large fields, had a fair number of fields to give us plenty of things to do in spring, and plenty of things to do in throughout the game year. So thanks for watching. Look for more videos to come on this map very, very soon. And until next time, happy farming.